is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Ohio.
It was a strange night in Minnesota for the Indians, and it started with a close call on the bases that went the Twins' way, leading to a 3-run inning. A clutch home run by Yan Gomes was then wiped out by an Oswaldo Arcia later walk-off home run, and so was the Indians' 5-game road winning streak. So it's bounce-back time for the Tribe and Cody Anderson, who will be looking for his first win of the season next on Sports Time Ohio. Cold and cloudy in the Twin Cities this afternoon, and we are just about ready for baseball here tonight as the Indians try to bounce back and even up this series at a game apiece against the Twins. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. What a wild swing of emotions for the Minnesota Twins ball club. In the span of less than 36 hours, they went from the lowest of lows to the highest of highs in the game of baseball.
Well, it doesn't take long. That's what it's all about. But they were in Washington to end their series there, and they had a walk-off hit against them. Chris Heisey beats Tonkin with a pitch, and, you know, that's a long ride home. But they come right back last night. Oswaldo Arcia hits the walk-off in bottom of the ninth inning off Zach McAllister. So they feel much better about themselves starting this homestand. They play better at home than they do on the road, so the Indians are going to come back and try and even this series tonight.
That was Minnesota's first win in the Central Division this year. They had been 0-6 going into play. Michael Brantley back in the starting lineup for the Indians tonight. We did see him in a pinch hit appearance last night late in the ball game, but great to see him back in the lineup finally.
Well, everybody in that lineup is going to be happy to have Michael back, the best hitter on this ball club. He'll be in the number 4 hole tonight, and Brantley can go inside, he can go to right field, left field. I mean, he hits with runners in scoring position. He's very, very good. The Indians need him back. 200 hits in 2014, put up another great year last year, so it's going to be good to have Michael back in the middle part of that lineup.
So not exactly ideal conditions tonight here in Minnesota. Definitely going to be on the chilly side, but the Indians will try to get this series back to even. Coming up, we'll have the first pitch. When we return, we'll go back to the studio with Alan Jensen, and before we have tonight's first pitch, we'll check in with Andre Knott. Stick around. We'll be right back. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. drives in a pair. That baby's gone, and it's not coming back. Indians win it. Dr. Smooth has been Mr. Clutch. And Michael Brantley activated from the DL last night. Got a pinch hit appearance late in the ball game in the starting lineup here this evening for Game 2 of this 3-game series at Target Field on a cool, cloudy night in downtown Minneapolis. With Brantley returning to the lineup, that means the lineup has been shuffled a bit. With more on that, let's go down to our man in the know, Andre Knott.
Yes, the lineup has been shuffled a bit. We've all had conversations over the last week of where exactly Michael Brantley would hit. He's going to hit cleanup, and Terry Francona says a couple things play off of it. They're going against the right-hander, and over the weekend in Detroit, Carlos Santana had some success as a leadoff hitter. He was 4 of 14 with 3 extra base hits, so Tito wants to keep him at the top of the lineup. The other thing this does is it keeps switch hitters in between his 2 left-handed hitters. Now he says, look, when we get to Philadelphia this weekend and the DH is gone, we'll probably change it up. But this order worked for us. Speaking of the switch hitters at the top of the order, Francisco Lindor made 3 dynamite plays last night that'll be on the top of everyone's highlight shows. But the play he wanted to talk about last night and this morning was the play that he did not make when the game was on the line. He took last night's loss tough. He said he felt like it was his fault that the team didn't win because it was a play he felt like he should have made. I told Terry Francona that. He goes, I never want one player to think that we won or lost because of them. He goes, but I do appreciate that Francisco Lindor takes pride in his position and pride on this team and pride on being the best shortstop he possibly could be. But I never want him to put one play on himself when we have a game of 9 innings and as many outs as we made.
All right, thanks a lot, Andre. Good extensive reporting there as we get ready for tonight's ball game. Lindor obviously took it hard. And it's unfortunate, but that's what happens. And Rick, you pointed this out so many times over the years. When you lose, you go back and you break down and you nitpick and everything's under the microscope. When you win, everybody forgets it.
Sure, everything's magnified when you lose, but you know what? That's okay. I mean, you take it to heart. It's the little things that cost you the game. That's why you have to be consistent day in and day out.
Indian starting lineup tonight brought to you by Progressive. For Terry Francona, it is Santana leading off and DHing. Jason Kipnis, then Francisco Lindor. Brantley will go into the cleanup spot, bumping Mike Napoli down to the 5-hole. Yan Gomes 6th. And then the bottom third will be Lonnie Chisenhall, Juan Uribe, and Tyler Naquin.
Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitchers Ricky Nolasco, 33-year-old, making his 4th start this year. Coming off a win against Milwaukee. He went 6 1/3 innings, 5 hits to allow just the 1 run. Now Nolasco was hurt for a good portion of last year. But he is back, and he's been the Twins' best pitcher. He's not a power guy. This guy throws about 33% sliders. He pitches backwards. He falls behind in the count. It's change-ups, sliders, and things like that. Off-speed pitches, so you're going to have to stay back on him.
So Carlos Santana looks at ball 1 outside, and we're underway here in Minnesota. Carlos Santana looks again. It's ball 2. And on the 2-0 pitch, he pops it up. Foul ground. Dozier and Mauer go over and take a look, but they can't get to it. Game time temperature is 49 degrees. But with the windy conditions, it's going to feel closer to 40 degrees here at game time, and the fans are bundled up for sure. Blowing away, 3-1. Well, here's the Carlos Santana that makes sense in the leadoff spot. The patient hitter who will work the count. Well, swings and fouls it off, full count.
The first game he ever let off against Verlander in Detroit, 3-2 count.
Yep.
Got the fastball, and he hit a home run. Not that he's going to do that every time, but he's already worked. It's a full count.
And now that it's gone to 3-2, the third baseman Sano shifts over to the right side of the infield, leaving Escobar the only defender on the left side. And Santana pops it up. Dozier, the second baseman, will make the catch. 1 away.
We'll set the Twins defense for you. Right now, it'll be Rosario in left. It'll be Santana in center. Arcia in right. Sano at third. Escobar at short. Dozier at second. Mauer is at first. Suzuki behind the plate.
Doug Eddings will call the balls and strikes. Laz Diaz is down at first. Ben May at second. And the crew chief, Jeff Nelson, is at third base. Here is Jason Kipnis, 1 for 5 with a run batted in last night. And he takes up and away for ball 1.
Nolasco, this will be his 5th start against the Indians. He's 0-2 and a .561 in his career. Signed a 4-year deal with the Twins back in December of 2013 and hurt most of last year and wasn't very good in 2014. You'll see a lot of sliders from him tonight.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count here on Kipnis.
You know, he was the #2 starter last year, then hit the DL shortly after his first start. There's
Breaking
the slider.
ball. Kipnis hits it well deep right field, and it is gone. A home run. It just did clear the 23-foot wall in right field, and it looked like it just got over the limestone cutout where the seats extend in front of the fence in right field. And for Jason Kipnis, home run #2 gives the Indians a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, he picked down the slider, and that's not a bad pitch to sit on, but he left that one down and in. Kip loves the ball down there, and the Indians are going to play from in front again tonight. 1-0. They score again in the first inning.
Yeah, that's that little limestone box that those seats in right field are surrounded by, and it's kind of a weird deal for the right fielder in this ballpark, because if he goes back on, say, a towering fly ball, those seats actually jut out, so they hang over the outfield wall. Francisco Lindor, 0 for 3 last night, walked a couple of times.
That was the 13th run the Indians have scored in the first inning, which is their best inning of the year. They've scored 13 in the first and 13 in the 5th. I like the first. You score in that first inning when you're on the road. That means your pitcher can go out and toe the rubber with a lead.
Indians scored first last night, but that didn't come until the 2nd inning of the ball game. Unfortunately, though, the Indians' offense sputtered throughout the game.
You know, you talk about that lineup change too, and Santana in that leadoff spot. You know, I don't mind them breaking up Napoli and Santana as well.
Lindor down on strikes, 2 away. Keys to the game tonight, courtesy of Wayside Furniture. And for the Indians, bring them home. Last night, just 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position. They left too many opportunities out there. And for Cody Anderson, keep the ball down in the zone. We'll talk more about that when Cody comes out to take the hill. Here's Michael Brantley.
Pitch from in front, down in the zone. 3 pitches or less, always good.
And Brantley pops one sky high on the first pitch. Center fielder Danny Santana will make the catch, and the inning is over. But Jason Kipnis gives Cody Anderson the early lead on a solo homer to right field. 1-0 Cleveland. The Twins are coming to bat. inning. And for the Twins, the starting lineup tonight, courtesy of Paul Molitor, looks like this. Danny Santana, switch hitter, going to lead it off. Last night batted ninth. Brian Dozier, Joe Mauer, then Big Miguel Sano, Oswaldo Arcia, Young Ho Park, then Eduardo Escobar, switch hitter, Kurt Suzuki, and Eddie Rosario gets to start in left field tonight, and he bats ninth.
And Cody Anderson is our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. Cody looking for his first win this year. The Twins could be the victim because he was 2-0 last year against them in 3 starts with a .386 earned run average. He had a no decision his very first start against the Twins in August, but 2 starts in September he came back and had wins.
Fastball outside corner, painted it, strike one. Now this is something we talked about with our keys thing, keeping the ball down in the zone. Now I don't want to oversimplify it, but when you talk about keeping the ball down in the zone, he's a guy that when he pitches the contact, gets some ground balls, that's when he's probably at his most effective.
Yeah, well, and locate the fastball. He's been leaving fastballs up, and he's been a fastball changeup guy a lot last year. Now he's mixed up his other things, and get back to the basics that you had last year.
0-2 count on Santana. Now, to your point about the fastball and being able to command it, a year ago, when he used his fastball, 26% of those fastballs were hit for fly balls or hit in the air. This year, 36% have been hit in the air. So fastballs up in the zone early in the season. And there's a line drive to the gap on a 1-2 pitch. And burning into second base is Danny Santana with a leadoff double.
Well, let's take a look at the pitch on our Nissan pitch tracker. What do you see? I see one that's right down the middle. It's mid-thigh. It's elevated, and it's a good pitch to hit with 2 strikes. So the fastball is up. They take advantage of it, and the Twins lead off with a double. For Santana, that's going to be his very first double this year.
Now that probably wouldn't quantify as a fly ball. That was more of a line drive.
Yeah.
But the
well,
point
when the ball is elevated, it's easier to hit it in the air.
He's got to be a guy that gets it down like that, bottom of the zone or below. Dozier takes, it's a little low for ball 1. Two balls, no strikes to Dozier. He was 1 for 4 last night, but boy, did he have a key hit. That one hit made it count. Driving in 2 with a double over the bag at third.
You know, he's the guy that's been struggling as well offensively for the Twins. Still under 200.
Bullseye, 2-1. Elevated the fastball, and that was up out of the hitting area, even though Dozier can get on top of a high fastball.
This is not the guy you want to go upstairs with because he can catch up to it. He fouled that one off, but it's a matter of getting it zoned in. That was 95. The pitch before that, I thought I saw 97. I could be wrong, but you know what? I'm not worried about it. I'm worried about the location.
Line drive, base hit. Into right field, they're going to wave Santana around. The throw is not nearly in time, and the Twins tie the game. Just 2 batters in their first at bat of the ball game.
To me, that looked like a little cutter out over the plate that Dozier stayed on. Down and away it was, a cut fastball. That was a little off the plate, so he had his 2-strike approach right there. Takes it to right field. Chisenhall comes in, throw off line. Twins tie it up. 10th RBI for Dozier.
And up comes Joe Mauer. And the pitch down low, ball one to Mauer. Mauer last night 1 for 3 with a double. That double came in the first inning with 2 outs, but it did not lead to a run for the Twins. There's a strike to the outside edge, and it evens the count 1-1. Minnesota last night entered the contest winless in the division. They were 0-6. And it looked like the Indians pretty much had the game in control going into the bottom of the 5th inning. They led it 2-0. They had just scored that second run, and Danny Salazar had the first 2 outs of that bottom half of the 5th inning, and then everything went haywire. He gave up 3 in the inning, and then the Twins would end up winning it in their final at bat in the bottom of the 9th. Mauer sends a long drive deep to left, but Brantley is back, and he'll make the catch just shy of the track. Jason Dozier all the way back to first base.
Well, cool night here at big ballpark. Tough to hit it the other way. Let's see. Mauer, a guy that stays to the opposite field throughout his at bat, never gives in. But then again, there's a lot of pitches down the middle by Anderson.
Down the middle, and again, that was up.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times with starting pitchers, we've seen this in the past, that first inning takes them maybe a little while to get settled in.
No, he has pitched well against the Twins in his career, so you would think that, you know, he feels good about it. He won in this ballpark.
And Miguel Sano takes ball 1. Sano at third base tonight. He was in the outfield last night in right field.
Well, they wanted this guy to play. If Plouffe was here, he'd be in the outfield. Trevor Plouffe on the DL, intercostal. You know, he's hurting.
Chop to third. Wicked hop. Uribe stays with it, and they get the out at second base. Jason Kipnis had to hang in there.
That's where you get hurt, is you have to keep your foot on the base. You know, if you're going to be stretching over there on a play like that, who hustles to get himself in scoring position, but you can't move. And they can go sliding into that base, and I'm sure Kipnis took a cleat. Not intentionally.
It was very close.
I'll tell you what, it could have went the other way, because he was hustling. He had to back up at Uribe, and by the time he got in there, Dozier went in there and slid. He stayed on the bag, but watch Kipnis's foot.
Well, Molitor's going to challenge it, although I think he's out.
No, he is out. Well, let's wait and see after what happened last night. You never know. I'll tell you what, the throw beat him. Kipnis kept his foot on the base, and that's good. They can challenge it early.
Well, I'm a little surprised that the Twins would choose to challenge this play, because that angle that we saw clearly shows he's out.
We thought we saw an angle last night that clearly showed he was out, and it didn't happen.
I mean, I just think if you're going to challenge this early in the game, you've got to have really good evidence.
Yeah, I agree. Kipnis is right there. There's the ball in his glove. His foot's on the base, so there's no question he beats the throw.
Well, it looks like we have a problem with the replay system. They're
well,
not
good.
looking. They're not looking at anything right now. They're doing a lot of talking. And
now wait, is this going to be a crew chief challenge as opposed to a Minnesota challenge?
No, you can't. It's got to be the manager challenge. So whatever Jeff Nelson had to say to Terry Francona, cleared that up, and now he goes to the headset. All right, so they'll take a look at it in New York, but I think this is pretty cut and dry. Did you see anything on any of these angles that would lead you to believe otherwise?
No, I didn't. The first time we looked at it, it looked like he was out. I mean, and they're already off the headset.
Didn't take long, yeah.
So no question he's out. I would say the call stands, because if that's the way it is, man, it's the Twins challenge. So I would Twins challenge, and the call stands. It's confirmed.
foul out of play by Oswaldo Arcia.
He was their hero last night, but boy, coming into it, the at-bats, the first three he struck out the first 2 times and really got jammed his 3rd time up before he hit the home run to win the game.
Ground ball toward Francisco Lindor. He'll throw it over to Napoli, and that will end the inning. So the Twins get the run right back, and we are tied at 1 after 1.
MLB.com at-bat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
1-1 our score. And here in the 2nd inning, Mike Napoli will lead it off for the Tribe. And Alasko with a fastball to the outside corner for strike 1. Mike Napoli has had a rough go of it here of late. I think the frustration for Napoli reached a boiling point last night when he struck out 3 times in the ballgame. He had a 4 strikeout game in Detroit. So that gives him 10 strikeouts in his last 4 games played.
And 25 out of his 65 at-bats.
Breaking ball, and that rings him up. 1 away. Our great clip of the game from last night. Yan Gomes going down, and he got it. His 3rd home run of the year. It tied the game at 3 and gave the Indians a little life and some hope. But unfortunately, Minnesota would come back in the bottom of the 9th with a home run of their own to win it.
He hit that ball a ton. Left center field here.
By the way, you were asking last inning, didn't get a chance to really respond because the inning came to a pretty quick close. On the challenging, though, for managers, the only thing that they can ask an umpire for an umpire review is a home run or some kind of a record-keeping situation, a substitution. Any kind of a play on the field, though, has to be a manager's challenge other than a home run. If it's a forced play or a tag play, they have to initiate that challenge. Now, I think when we get, I have to go back and check, but when we get late in the game
From the 7th inning on,
if you're out of
talking
challenges, then,
Right.
yeah, then you can request it, I believe.
And they don't have to give it to you. Though.
Right. They could say, go take a flying leap.
So you better be polite to them.
Yeah. Which, as you pointed out a year ago, we don't see very many outbursts anymore from the managers.
Yeah.
Occasionally, a guy loses cool, but they don't get tossed.
Well, you know, the funny thing it is, there's no arguments. All of a sudden, you see managers on the top step. They're looking behind them instead of out on the field of play. And it's like, you know, what's going on here? I liked it better when there was no replay. You go yell at an umpire and you get your feelings across.
Gomes down on strikes. Back-to-back Ks for Nolasco. 2 down here in the 2nd inning.
Well, the K's coming with the curveball in this inning. He also has that curveball. He's got the slider, changeup, and he'll sink his fastball. He'll cut it. You know, deception for him, but that was on the outside edge. Pretty good pitch, and it's back-to-back strikeouts for Nolasco, and he has 3 now.
Lonnie Chisenhall. He hammers it fouled on the right side.
Again, they do their shifting, sending Sano to the right side with 2 strikes.
And he shoots it the other way, and it's going to land foul. Oh, strike 3 called, and Ricky Nolasco strikes out the side here in the 2nd inning. Tied at 1, middle of the 2nd.
Before we head to the 2nd inning, it's brought to you by Jeep. In the outfield, Brantley, Naquin, and Chisenhall. On the infield, it's Uribe, Lindor, Kipnis, and Napoli. Gomes doing the catching.
Young Ho Park leading off. He's the DH for the Twins, and last night, his first game against the Tribe, he was 0 for 4.
He did save a run, though, at first base, if you remember. 2 outs, dove for a ball in the hole, kept it on the infield. It was a base hit, but he ended up saving a run.
Hammered towards center field, and Naquin got a late break. He won't get it, and it gets lodged underneath the fence. So Park's got at least 2, and he'll hold there with a double.
Well, we mentioned last night, this guy doesn't get cheated. He loves to swing the bat. I mean, he gets his money's worth when he's up in the batter's box, and he hit a line drive right over the head of Naquin. And there's a fastball that was sort of down, middle, in, and he tattoos it, gets it over the head. No way you're going to catch that. That's a vicious line drive, sticks underneath the wall. So for Park, his 3rd double, and again, back-to-back innings with a leadoff double. We'll see how Minnesota fundamentally gets them over and gets them in, if they are capable of.
And a pop back out of play. Hit on the ground right at Jason Kipnis, and the second baseman will throw out Escobar, but he gets his job done, moving the go-ahead run just 90 feet away.
Let's go back to the first inning and look at some of the locations. When he was middle of the plate and up, he was burned by the hitters. That was a cutter, but it was out over the plate, and I call that a pretty decent job of hitting. Mauer, he left it up. But now there he ties one up and in. He gets the out to Sano, and then Arcia goes after that little change up down and hits a little weak grounder. So you make your pitches, you keep them off the barrel of the bat. Now the infield of the Indians is coming in to cut off the run at home plate.
Down low. With the infield in, Kurt Suzuki takes a big swing and comes up empty.
He's looking for a pitch to drive, and right there he sees a very good changeup from Cody.
A little bit low. Couldn't get him to offer at it. Suzuki, who did draw a walk last night, is a guy who, he will be patient, especially in these kind of situations where he's got an opportunity to drive in a run. And he drives it in. The Twins take the lead on the RBI single by Kurt Suzuki. 4th hit already for Minnesota.
Well, they got him over, got him in. So fundamentally, they did their job. Got him on, got him over, got him in. He followed up his changeup with a fastball. I'm telling you, he's hit way too much of the plate early part of this ball game and upstairs. I don't like to keep harping on it, and I know you don't like to give the hitters too much credit, but boy, you better stay out of the middle part of the plate. He's getting way too much of it.
Down low.
Cody Anderson. His last 2 starts, he's given up 5 runs in both starts. Never got 5 innings in. First game of the year, he pitched 6 innings against the White Sox. Had a no decision. Pitched a good ball game, but against the Mets, it was 4 2/3 with 9 hits and 5 runs. And against Seattle, 3 2/3, 9 hits and 5 runs.
Rosario comes up empty, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just golfed at it, popped it to center, and Naquin will make the catch. 2 away. Check in with Andre Knott.
You know, the question that I have about Cody Anderson is his body has changed tremendously over the last year, and his stuff has changed. And with that body change, you start to wonder, you know, he's throwing harder with the fastball, but the changeup is harder. Last year he got away with it. There's some variation, guys, in his fastball and changeup. The question I'll ask you guys, we talked about this last year, how much would a wrinkle, a curveball or a slider help him keep people off that same plane right now?
Well, any pitch that you can throw off speed would help. But, you know, as you mentioned, that changeup now is about 86, sometimes 87, where it used to be maybe 82, 83. That fastball that I remember was 92, maybe a little harder last year, but it's up to 95, 96. But it's all about locating it, keeping it down in the zone. He's been, Andre, we're showing the replay, he's been up in the zone a lot.
It's inside, 1-1. We had this conversation when we walked back last night. There's nothing new about this. Pitching isn't so much about how hard you can throw it, but where you can throw it.
Yeah, it's keeping the hitters off stride. There you go. There's a nice little changeup on a good, you know, good location away.
There's nothing wrong with wanting to add velocity as long as it doesn't come at the expense of something else like location or movement, which sometimes you start throwing too hard, you'll lose some of that natural run. Just inside, not by much.
That's okay. I like that pitch. It's in off the plate. You know, I remember Cody last year having a lot of, you know, low pitch innings, 10 pitches or less sometimes. And, you know, he would have a couple of them a game because guys would get aggressive. Now, if they're going to lay off some of these things, and he's got to make an adjustment too.
Well, the Twins take the lead with a couple of hits here in inning number 2. And Minnesota is in front 2-1.
16 season tickets are still available and include 8 different plans. When you buy a prorated 20-game plan, you'll get up to 12 games for free. Visit Indians.com season tickets for more details.
Now we go to the 3rd inning, and it's a 2-1 Minnesota lead. Juan Uribe to lead it off for Cleveland. And Ricky Nolasco's pitch is hammered deep left field. Rosario looking up, gone to Souvenir City. And on one swing of the bat, the Indians come back and tie it here in the 3rd. For Juan Uribe, that's his first home run of the year, first as an Indian.
Well, that didn't take long, boy. One swing and he ties it up. The Indians on the board with 2 solo home runs today. Minnesota with some doubles and singles. Will be our Yellowwood bringing the lumber in. Juan Uribe, go fastball. He missed his target. They wanted it away. You can't sneak it by him inside.
No.
He cheats that way, and he gets the barrel out of the bat out of there, and it gets out of here in a hurry. So one swing, we have a new ball game. It's tied at 2.
The old timers used to say it's like trying to throw a lamb chop by a wolf. You're not going to get a fastball middle in by Juan Uribe. He is so quick still, even at this point in his career. Naquin, a high drive, fairly deep to right, but Arcia back and will come in on to the grass in front of the track for out number 1. Our stat of the game brought to you by Buick. And Carlos Santana likes the new home of the Twins with 11 home runs here. 18 in his career against Minnesota.
You know, the thing that's a little misleading in that number, I can see Santana with 11 because we play here 3 times a year. Batista only comes once a year. He has 11, and this isn't hitter's paradise by any means.
Especially, I would think, for a right-handed hitter. Maybe for a left-handed hitter, as I said last night, you get some nights where that breeze is carrying out to right field. But to left, it just seems like that's a long poke out there. 377 to the alley. What is it, 339
well,
right down
I know
the line?
when this park first opened, there were a lot of disgruntled hitters, especially left-handed hitters. Maurer, Morneau, because you know when they played over in the dome, the Metro Dome, they could go to left center field and hit homers, and then they would hit the same balls here, and you'd see them fall short and not even get to the track. It's a little disheartening.
That was a close pitch. Santana getting the benefit, and it's 2-2. I'm trying to. Do you remember how high the wall, the baggie was in right field?
It was probably 15 feet. I mean, because the first year they had it, it was still like that regular 8-foot wall, and then they raised it up a little bit. So. We'll have to find
thought
out.
somebody told me it was the exact same height as it is now, but it seemed like it was so much higher over there.
Yeah, indoors.
Santana grounds out, 2 away.
We'll find out.
Jason Kipnis, first time up. Hanger. See you later.
Well, that's Jason's wheelhouse. It started to break right down and in to where he likes it. So he gave him a first inning lead.
High fastball. Ground ball. And Dozier takes it. He's got to lead the pitcher, and a good job by Nolasco to take the feed, and that'll end the inning. Juan Uribe, well, the first pitch of the 3rd ties the game at 2. game. For Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Hopefully you have time to enjoy a cold one on night. Watch the Indians and the Twins. 2-2. Bottom of the third. Brian Dozier to lead it off. He drove in Minnesota's first run with a base hit in the first inning. Checked with the Twins guys next door, and the wall in right field is the same height as it was at the Metrodome with the baggie.
Gotcha.
I don't know why. It just seemed higher to me.
Well, because you're close. That roof was up there, and that upper deck was up there, and the guys could hit it into that upper deck, if you remember.
Jim Thome did.
I remember watching a lot of guys. Ben Ogilvie and Cooper and those guys could wear that upper deck out as long, just like Ken Herbeck and a lot of the left-handers that the Twins had.
Dozier swings and misses, 2-2. Pretty sure Justin Morneau hit a few up there as well.
It's a nice changeup. You can see the grip on the baseball, and it's got a little movement to it. And it has Dozier out front. I like that. Good pitch.
Now the 2-2. Ground ball foul. That's fouled back.
Oh, right into his bag of popcorn. He lost the popcorn and did not get the ball. Oh, that's a tough break. Look at, he's upset. There's the bag. Maybe he wants. Anybody have a broom for him to sweep it up and put it back in the bag or box?
The 2-2. Another pop foul. This might get him another bag of popcorn.
I gotta buy that guy another box of popcorn.
That's what he's saying. You know how much that cost me. I think he's more mad he doesn't have the ball, right?
Yeah, I think so. I gotta send Teresa down there to get him a popcorn.
Swung on and missed. Dozier finally retired. That's a second strikeout for Cody Anderson. One down in the third.
We can make this our Circle K strikeout. Good changeup, and when it's down in the zone and they know it's a good one, you get them to swing and miss, and that always comes when you're ahead of the hitter.
One ball, no strikes. And Mauer crunches it to first. Napoli has it, takes it himself, 2 down.
Well, come on out to Progressive Field next week. The Indians return home after this road trip, starting with Tuesday, because we have Monday off. We're going to be facing the Detroit Tigers. Of course, the Tribe swept the Tigers in Detroit over the weekend, and a little controversy in that last game with the ring and with Brad Ausmus coming out there a couple times. So come on back. The Indians are going to try and sweep them again. Go to Indians.com and get your tickets.
2 down for Miguel Sano. And a breaking ball in the dirt. A little bit high. Sano got in on him. Might have broke his bat. Look at Lindor go get it. And Francisco pulls it in to end the inning. Cody Anderson sets him down 1-2-3 as Lindor runs it down in center field. And the Indians and Twins are tied at 2. Fourth inning. Ricky Nolasco will go to work on 3, 4, and 5 in the Indians order. Francisco Lindor, Michael Brantley, and Mike Napoli.
Starts off with a changeup. The Indians with 2 hits tonight, both of them solo home runs. Kipnis, 1-out homer in the first. Uribe led off the third with his first home run as a Cleveland Indian.
And strike 3 called.
Yeah, pitch it backwards. The 1-2 count. Throws that fastball in the inner part of the plate. Catches Frankie looking. That's his 5th strikeout. You can see a little comeback. That's a good pitch. Very good pitch. The left-handers have a tendency to start at that front hip.
Good pitch, but a better job of framing by Suzuki.
I mean, that comes
inside
the call. I mean, when that's a good look at that from that camera, which I really like, because a lot of times from center field it's not directly behind it. So that high home look is really good.
Michael Brantley fly to center his first time up. His first start of the year. And last year Michael Brantley led all of the major leagues with 45 doubles. And so over the last 2 years with 90, he's at the head of the class. But a fly ball out here, and he's 0 for 2 tonight. 2 down for Mike Napoli. Napoli called out on strikes his first time up. And it was a high curveball from Nolasco that got him looking. Mike Napoli right now is shaking his head because it seems like anything they're throwing up there is a strike.
Sure does.
That did not look like a strike, I have to admit. And you know, he's a frustrated hitter right now.
Well, he's talking to the home plate umpire. He did that last night to Jeff Nelson. Well, and he started the second inning, and he just breezed through that inning. He struck out the side.
No, that's not a strike.
I know, but you know, you can't swing at that.
Now the 1-1.
No, Alaska's going to keep throwing it out there and see if he can get it called again.
Well, again, Napoli's been around long enough. He knows the strike zone. I think he's got a pretty good idea. That ball's hit hard, but right at Dozier. And the Indians go 1-2-3. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth. Still tied at 2. Fourth inning here at Target Field in Minneapolis, and a guy who will be working right next door next year, Tom Thibodeau, just named the new head basketball coach of the NBA's Timberwolves throughout tonight's first pitch. A little bit longer than a free throw.
Yeah, there you go.
Now there's the guy who had the popcorn and tried to catch it with the popcorn box and blew out half his popcorn. Now, the Twins radio guys, they gave him a popcorn refill, but Bert Blyleven one-upped him. The Hall of Famer gave the guy baseball. Well, which do you think he's more happy to get?
Probably the popcorn. No, I'm kidding. You know. Well, he gets them both, man. He's a big winner today. I'll bet Bert signed it, too. There it is. There's the signature on it. Absolutely. Look at, they're showing everything. That's beautiful. They're taking pictures so they can send
There's the
them
ball
out.
I should have had that destroyed my popcorn. Here's the one I got from Hall of Famer Bert Blyleven.
That's good stuff.
Oswaldo Arcia, swing and a miss. Corey Provis of the Twins radio network. He must feel like, remember the Lou Gehrig story? Remember how Babe Ruth goes in and gives the kid an autograph, and then Lou Gehrig goes, "Oh, I'm going to hit you a home run today." You know, he goes in and one-ups him. Arcia fouls it back. Two-two here in the fourth inning. And ball's out of play down the left side.
Cody's starting to settle in now. First two innings. First inning leadoff double. They got to him early. Second inning leadoff double. They ended up scoring, but now he's making some quality pitches. Change up. Arcia way out in front. much his front foot. He's down, and you think you're getting the fastball, and it's emergency just to keep the bat, trying to keep it back. And that's the key to pitching, is keep him off balance and off the barrel of the bat.
Nice. And he strikes him out. Almost the same.
Worked him over.
Pitch.
Yeah, you start watching the locations and the movement of the pitches now that Cody Anderson is throwing. You see excellent locations with movement. You expand their strike zone when you get to 2 strikes. He's locked in now. He's got a feel. And then you're looking for that changeup. He had him so far out front. What do? Throw the heater by him. Yeah, he's getting into a rhythm now. This is a guy that led off the 2nd inning. Park with a rocket over the head of Tyler Naquin in center field to start that inning off. Nice pitch.
Check, did he go? No appeal. Now Cody Anderson's 2-1 offering. And that's hit hard deep left field. It's going to be extra bases once again for Young Ho Park. As Brantley will lob this one back in. Park has his 2nd double of the ball game.
I tell you, Park did a really good job of keeping his hands back because it was a changeup that was away. So he's going to have 2 hits. Watch the hands. That ball is back. He was fooled by it, but he let go with that top hand and just followed through it and hit it pretty hard, boy, to left field. One hops a wall. So he is 2 for 2 with a pair of doubles.
Elsewhere in the American League Central Division, last night Miguel Cabrera homered twice as Detroit beat up Oakland. Tonight Rich Hill has struck out Cabrera twice, and he has shut out the Tigers through 7 innings. Oakland leads that game 5-0 in Detroit. And as if a couple of runs weren't enough for Chris Sale, Chicago bombing Toronto 7-1. Chris Sale about to go 5-0 to start the year.
Yeah. I think he did one other time in his career 5-0. It was back in 2014. Yeah, they're firing on all cylinders right now, playing a pretty good brand of baseball right now with solid pitching and timely hitting.
Speaking of good pitching, Tampa Bay leads Baltimore 3-1. They're in the 7th inning in Baltimore. Tampa Bay trying to get him again. In the air. Brantley on the move near the line. Makes the catch in fair territory. And there are 2 away. This summer, make a difference and Bike to Cure in Velasano. It takes place at the end of July. Every dollar raised advances cancer research at Cleveland Clinic. Team up now. Get involved at velasano.org. Kurt Suzuki gave Minnesota a 2-1 lead with an RBI single in the 2nd inning. He can give him the lead again here. Missed inside, ball 1. .41 out of 61 pitches for strikes tonight for Cody Anderson.
Cody is a guy and has been that he pounds the strike zone. Hasn't walked anybody tonight. Has 3 strikeouts.
to center field, and Naquin won't get it. And once again, Kurt Suzuki has given the Twins the lead. He's 2 for 2 with 2 RBI singles. This one, a 2-out backbreaker, as Minnesota goes in front 3-2 in the 4th inning.
Yeah, it didn't hit it all that hard because it got in front of Tyler Naquin in center field, but they wanted it away, and he left it up. He made the mistake up again. So that's the exact same thing that the Twins did back in the 2nd inning. It was the Park double, and then Suzuki with the RBI single. They do it again here in the 4th inning, and they retake the lead 3-2.
And the number 9 hitter, Eddie Rosario, to the plate. Rosario fly to center, his only time up. Foul back.
I'll never forget the home run this guy hit last year in this park off, I believe it was Josh Tomlin on an 0-2 pitch, where he threw one up around his chin, and he hit one out in right field. And Molitor said, well, you know, this guy, he'll swing at anything a lot of times, but he ended up hitting one in this ballpark last year.
The best thing about that, not that there was anything good about it from the Indian standpoint, though, last year, the very next day, the picture on the front page of the newspaper had that swing caught right where he made contact, right there.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing to see it frozen about, the bat was shoulder high.
Yeah, that was an 0-2 pitch that he was able to hit. I'll never forget that, because you would never expect to see it.
Nice backhanded stop by Napoli, who lays out for it, and that'll end the inning. But once again, Minnesota takes the lead, 3-2 after 4. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. By the Cleveland Clinic, access anytime, anywhere. And by T-Mobile, get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. 3-2 Minnesota, 5th inning. And for Cleveland, Yan Gomes, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Juan Uribe. And Gomes chases after a slider for strike 1. In off the dish.
Slow hook.
Yeah, went really geared down on that
74 miles per hour on that curveball. It gives it, yeah, it's slower, more tilt to it.
Low, trying to paint the fastball.
Yeah, I like that selection right there, trying to nail the outside corner after something off speed like that.
He was able to hold up and a full count.
You know, for Nolasco, he was on the DL twice last year. As I said, he was their #2 starter, went on the DL April 11th, right elbow inflammation. Then he came back and he won 5 straight games in the month of May, and then put back on the DL in June and had a right ankle impingement, and ended up, that was his year.
Nice play by Eduardo Escobar as he retires Yan Gomes. He went up the middle a long way just to flag it down. Then was able to spin around Plant and get off a good throw. Now it helps that you've got the catcher running, but look at the athleticism and the accurate throw.
That's, yeah, knowing your runners. He did go a long way, spins and makes the throw. It's amazing they can do that all in one stride, and they're very accurate with the throws, those shortstops.
Pop back, out of play. Lonnie Chisenhall called out on strikes. His only time up. And Lonnie shoots one out of play down the left side. A foul by Lonnie. Hanging in there tough.
He's fouling off a lot of pitches. That first pitch was a ball, but everything after he has been swinging at, fouling them off. He's moved them in, out. Curveball, that was the fastball.
Chased one in the dirt.
Yeah, he was swinging at everything in that at bat.
It's the 6th strikeout for Nolasco. And there are 2 down. Down to Andre.
You know, Brian Dozier said after his last start, Nolasco's last start, he says he looks more like his old self. And to talk about that, he says it's a slider. He says he's thrown it 33% of the time after it was just 26% of the time the last 2 seasons. And Nolasco said he feels comfortable throwing it now in any count when he didn't have that feeling over the last 2 seasons.
Well, he's definitely been their best pitcher so far, and you can see why. He's got some off-speed pitches. He's mixing it in with his fastball. He's not overpowering. That's tops at 91. But that curveball is 74. Slider, he's throwing about 33% of the time. There's the big slow hook. So he mixes it well. He's been working quickly. The two times he's been hurt, they left the yard. Not giving up only 2 hits. Hasn't walked anybody in 6 strikeouts.
Foul out of play right side. On Uribe on the first pitch of the third inning said, "Get out of here."
Yeah, but that's a pitch Nolasco wanted back because he missed on the inside part of the plate, and it was not coming back. Uribe's first home run as an Indian.
.43 out of 66 pitches. Strikes tonight for Nolasco. You talked at the outset about how he'll pitch backwards. One thing he's been able to do is either A, get guys to expand their strike zone, or pitch ahead. He hasn't really had to come in and challenge anybody for the most part.
That's what you do when you pitch backwards. He locked up a couple guys with a fastball inside because they're sitting on his off-speed pitches, but he's in front of the count. So he's always pitching from in front, and they have to expand it.
Well, he's on a roll right now. Since the Uribe homer in the third, he's retired 9 in a row. So leading it, and we are going to the bottom half of the fifth inning. Top of the order due up for Minnesota here: Danny Santana, Brian Dozier, and Joe Mauer. He bunts it.
Beautiful bunt. Let it go. That's all you can do.
Leadoff man aboard for the Twins as Danny Santana has his second hit of the night now.
Well, that was just a beautiful bunt. It stayed on the grass. He deadened it beautifully, and Uribe realized by the time I get it, and look at, he's charging in. He didn't fool him. He just laid down a perfect bunt. That is absolutely perfect. So he is rewarded with a base hit, his second base hit. Infield bunt to get it started. So they've had the leadoff man now 3 times out of the first 5 innings.
Brian Dozier.
You don't see a lot of guys doing that much anymore, do you, bunting?
No.
Or try to bunt for a base hit and get an inning started.
I think there's a couple of reasons for that. I think one, and perhaps the biggest reason, is that maybe in part due to analytics, the bunt has really sort of been de-emphasized as not a productive play.
But it's a way to get on base if you're leading. leading an inning off.
But because guys don't practice it, because they don't put it in play very much,
they should.
Don't see guys do it.
They should. More guys should practice.
Runner goes. Pitch is hit by Dozier. I mean, it hit him.
Was the hand part of the bat?
Did it hit the bat?
No, hand's part of the bat. I think it did. They're not giving him first base, so.
Hit the knob.
Okay. Wow, he's an honest guy. He's telling everybody to hit the knob. Some guys would have dropped the bat and just took off. It looked like it hit his wrist, didn't it? But off the knob of the bat.
Square off the knob.
Yeah, that was a good shot. Again, you can see it. I love that camera angle here. It's given us 3 very good looks at different things over the last 2 nights.
That's a not so subtle hit. Runner goes, and a fly ball to right field near the line. Long run for Chisenhall, dives, can't make the play. But Santana had to scamper back towards first, so the play might be close at third base, and he is out at third. Oh, Danny Santana tagged out by Uribe on a pretty strong throw from Lonnie Chisenhall. Now, good hustle by Chisenhall, and Santana, he had to wait to see because Lonnie almost made a diving catch, and because of that, he had to kick it back in gear, and he couldn't get there ahead of the throw.
Well, he was forced to go to third base because of Dozier. Dozier forced him. You watch, he's going to stop and come back. But watch where Dozier is. He forces him to go to third because Dozier's going to second. I don't know if we'll get a look, but I mean, he had to go. He was forced. See, and there's Dozier going into, he's worried about getting to second. They didn't realize he was going to make that kind of throw to third base.
I think he was going anyway. And it's close. He might have had the hand in there, but they don't have a challenge. Now, see, this is where that first inning challenge really comes back and hurts Minnesota. They challenged a play in the first inning, and it wasn't even close. And because of that, they lost their challenge. If you look at this again, it looks like the hand's on the bag before the tag is made.
That's a good call.
So he would have been safe had they had a review, but they don't have one. And it's not until the 7th inning where you can go out and ask the umpires if they would take a look at it.
That's a good call.
Now, can the Indians take advantage and get out of this inning without allowing any damage? By the way, credit Dozier with a single, and he gets second base on the throw. Once again, our guys here in Minneapolis do a terrific job. It was a great second look. Joe Mauer flied to left in that first inning. He grounded out to first base in the third. Take a look at Santana. See,
watch, he's going back to first. Second line, he's going to catch it, and then right on his tail. I agree with you. He was going to go to third anyway, but I really felt that he was forced to go to third.
On that look right there, it looked like he wasn't expecting a throw. It was almost like he was going to go in there standing, and then sort of got surprised at the end and had to slide awkwardly. Well, Mauer drills one to left, and it's a fair ball. So he drives home a run as Dozier scores, and it's 4-2 Minnesota. The ball popped up into the seats. Now Mauer with his 5th double and his 7th RBI, and that's 3 straight hits by Minnesota to start the bottom of the 5th inning off Cody Anderson.
There's the guy that stays on the baseball regardless of what you throw, whether it's a changeup or fastball. He's going to try and go that way. So his first hit of the night. They get their 4th run on the board, and out comes Mickey Callaway. That bullpen is going to be up and getting loose.
They're scrambling to get somebody hot in a hurry.
Yeah, 9 hits now for the Twins. They have 4 doubles.
Well, while we have a moment, let's send it back to the studios for an in-game update with Al Pulaski. All right, thanks, Al. You see Dan Otero getting loose in the tri-pen. Mickey Callaway's gone back to the dugout. Cody Anderson now has given up 4 runs on 9 hits in 4 in the 3rd innings. And you go back to last night, Danny Salazar only went 4 2/3 innings. Indians had to use 5 bullpen pitchers in the series opener last night. And with Carlos Carrasco already lost to the disabled list, we're not even through the month of April, and the Indians have to try and patch the rotation back together. They have to hope that Trevor Bauer will be able to step right in and pick up the slack. Nice fastball by Cody as he tied him up 1-1. But because the Indians have a couple of off days, scheduled off days coming up, and who knows with the weather how everything plays out, but they might be able to sort of maneuver the starting rotation to where they won't need that 5th spot for a while.
Yeah, if everything goes according to plans.
Right.
We have Thursday off supposedly, and Monday.
We say weather permitting because tomorrow the forecast does not look favorable here tomorrow night for the finale.
It does not. Windy, cold, and rainy.
Full foul.
Oh. Andre ducking down in there again. I can see that hat peeping up. I wonder, you mentioned yesterday that the dugouts have the heat coming out. I wonder if there's any heat in his cubby hole. He's that guy shaking his head saying nope, he wouldn't have that hat on if there was.
Oh, he's got a lot of hot air. Don't
well, that I know. Keep everybody warm down
don't
there.
We all? Now the 2-2 in the dirt. Full count. Just missed outside, and that's 4 straight have reached safely to start the inning, and that's probably going to be it. Let's see. Tito's mulling it over. Looks like he's going to stay with him for at least one more batter. Maybe
he's been able to handle Arcia in this game, so I think that's going to give him one more hitter. He's certainly not going to face Park, because Park is 2 for 2 off him with 2 doubles. So this could be his last hitter regardless of what happens. Love to get a ground ball double play, but he overmatched him in his last at bat on the strikeout. Got him looking for the changeup and got him with a fastball.
Last night it was the Indians who out-hit the Twins 12-5 but lost the game. Tonight Minnesota not only leads on the scoreboard column, but they also out-hit the Indians 9-2. Both Indians hits solo home runs, the only reason they're on the board at all. So based on that, this is key spot for Cody Anderson and the Indians. And he's just overmatched Arcia so far in this at bat. And the 0-2 upstairs, trying to reach back for a little something extra. Might have overthrown it. Well, the White Sox continue to pour it on against Toronto. They lead the Blue Jays 10-1. They're in the 9th at the Rogers Center. Oakland still shutting out Detroit 5-0. Bottom of the 9th at Comerica. Got him. Cody Anderson with strikeout number 4.
See if he goes and gets him now.
Well, that's 2 down in the inning, so maybe because he came back and got that second out, let him stay in the ball game.
Well, this guy's done some damage to him early. He gets Arcia again. That one on a changeup had him out in front.
This is probably where you're trying to balance. Okay, you're trying to win the game. You're trying to keep your bullpen from getting overused here early in the year? I don't know. Do you want to go to your bullpen 2 nights in a row in the 5th inning?
Well, probably not, but this is where Cody's got to get this out.
You saw Mickey on the phone. Otero is ready. But right now it's Cody Anderson against Byung-Ho Park, and Park has drilled him twice for 2 doubles. And it's outside for ball 1. Swung and missed. Got a piece of that, actually.
Well, here's Park in the 2nd inning, leading off a line drive double over the head of Naquin, and then with 1 out in the 4th, he comes out and kept his hands back against the changeup, so he's been able to hit both of his pitches. So he's really going to have to execute in this at bat.
Line drive caught by Lindor to end the inning. He leaped up and snared it before it got into left field. And that saves the Indians big time. But Minnesota goes in front 4-2. And it's time for our in-game recap, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Twice tonight the Indians have hit a solo homer, one by Jason Kipnis, one by Juan Uribe. But twice tonight Kurt Suzuki has had an RBI single that has given Minnesota the lead. First time was in the 2nd, and the last time was in the 4th, and they've since added a run as they lead it 4-2. Tyler Naquin will lead off the 6th. Ricky Nolasco's pitched well, and Naquin's out front with a swing and a miss.
Yeah, he's had a lot of swings and misses tonight.
And a broken bat base hit by Naquin. It went off the glove of Mauer at first base, and then, like in hockey, it carried by Dozier, who was behind him, and it got in the goal. So Naquin's aboard for the Indians.
It's all right. They needed their leadoff man aboard. Only their 3rd hit of the night. It was off the end of the bat. He might have broke his bat, but look at where Mauer lays out. He ended up getting leather on that ball. Not so sure if Dozier would have been there and been able to catch that ball and throw it to Nolasco. Who knows? But it's a base hit for Naquin.
And now Carlos Santana, who is 0 for 2 on the night. Santana's popped up, grounded out. And he takes outside for ball 1. At the moment, Minnesota's bullpen is quiet, but certainly that could change, even though Nolasco has just made over 70 pitches. Naquin extending his hit streak now to 7 in a row. And he pulls the string on Santana, 1-1. Carlos Santana with 2 hits in the ball game last night. And that's inside 2-1. Santana, ever since Tito put him in that leadoff spot, it's helped him offensively without a doubt. As he came into this game 6 for 18 on the road trip. And I think coming into the road trip, he was really mired in an extensive offensive funk.
Well, when you look at him, he only has 8 hits on the road this year. So, you know, this road trip has helped. I mean, leading him off, it got him out of the doldrums.
And that's called a strike, generous, it would appear. Full count. Let's see.
Let's see the angle there.
Well, that's awfully close. That's a lot closer than it appeared initially.
Yes, it is. 3-1 pitch. It's not a pitch you want to swing at when you have the count in your favor. Let's put it that way.
3-2. Hit pretty well. Deep left center field. Rosario racing back. He won't get it. Short hops the wall. Naquin flying around third. He's coming home. He will score. And Carlos Santana gets the Indians to within a run with an RBI double here in the 6th. His 5th two-bagger of the year, his 11th run batted in.
Love the swing from Carlos right there, going the other way. They stayed away. Normally he tries to pull that ball. You know, he did that in Detroit too after they hit his home run. He went to left center field. It short hopped the wall. He had a double there. So Naquin scores easily coming in, and 2 hitters in there cut that lead to a 4-3 lead. RBI number 11 for Santana. Love to see him use that swing more often.
Now here's a guy that has that swing down pat, Jason Kipnis. Although his first time up, he pulled the ball and hit it out of here for his 2nd home run of the year. Last time up, he pulled it as well, but the second baseman Dozier made a nice play in the hole and threw him out. I suppose it's understandable, though, with Kipnis seeing him pull the ball, because Nolasco's trying to spin it up there and throw a lot of off-speed pitches.
Yeah, he speeds up the bat. Right. Change up.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Now Jason.
See, he tried to stay on it. He hits that changeup the other way, but this is where a couple times I've seen him go inside with the fastball, try and get that call. You know, when you're 1-2 in the count, looking for a breaking ball or something off speed, and he buzzes you with the fastball. There it was, and he missed his location.
Drilled down the left field line. This is trouble. It's a foul ball.
Yeah, that's exactly what he wanted to do. That was close. He wanted the fastball inside. Suzuki did on the 1-2 count. He left it out over the plate. And
now here's your difference in the game, Rick. Mauer's ball was just inside the line. Look where Kipnis's lands, just outside the chalk. Two straight hits to open the inning, though, for Cleveland. Off-speed pitch fouled back out of play. Now the 1-2. And that, like Dozier, up and in off the knob of the bat.
Did that go off the knob too?
I think it did. Either the knob or just above his hands. Let's take another look and see.
I was going to say, he didn't take much of a swing.
Oh, yeah, just
off the barrel where that the bat is two-toned right there. Little check swing. He made sure he didn't miss. When he missed off the plate inside on that pitch.
And the off-speed pitch again fouled out of play. This might be a great opportunity for the Indians to pounce on Nolasco. They're really making him work for it, even though he's got Kipnis down on the count. He's over 80 pitches on the night. Nobody up at this point in Minnesota's bullpen. And there's a fly ball deep to center. Santana makes the catch. Tagging at second is the other Santana, and he's in there safely.
I love it. That means you do your job. You got him over from second to third. Now that's your first out, but now Kipnis feels good about that at bat because Santana tags up, gets himself in scoring position. They have an opportunity to tie the game up. There you go. Get down. See? Leadoff hitter. Put on your running shoes, baby. Okay, the Indians with a chance to tie it now. The infield in for the Twins. Lindor's had no luck against Nolasco. He struck him out twice, but a good opportunity here. Infield in.
And now it's lifted to deep center field by Lindor. Santana will make the catch. Carlos Santana will tag and come home. And the Indians have come back to tie the game with 2 here in the 6th inning.
As we say, you get them on, you get them over, you get them in. The Indians do that. They execute. They tie the ball game. Sacrifice fly, the 7th that the Indians have on the year. So we got a new ball game.
Lindor drove that ball to the big part of the yard, but plenty deep enough to get Carlos home from third base.
Yeah, you're in that situation. You're just looking for anything you can elevate and hit in the air.
Michael Brantley twice tonight has flied out. And takes a backdoor curveball for strike 1.
The Indians had only 2 hits coming into this inning. The 2 solo homers and then the leadoff single by Naquin. Santana double, and they manufactured their 4th run.
Oh, another curveball and 2 quick strikes.
Yeah, you would think it's going to take Michael a little while to get zoned in. I don't care how many at bats you get down in the minor leagues. You get up here, it's a little different ball game.
In the dirt.
You know, didn't Terry say that, you know, he doesn't have to play every day if you can get him 2 out of 3 days? And, you know, they'll ease him into it.
I would think too for Michael, you know, it's not like he's first or second year in the league. He's got a pretty good book on almost all the guys he's facing now.
Yes, he did.
Got him to chase. Brantley strikes out to end the inning. But the Indians come back with 2 here in the 6th. Naquin, Santana get on, and they both get home. in the OH continues tomorrow in Minnesota when the Tribe wraps up their series against the Twins. Indians Live will start us at 7:30, and then all the action at 8 right here on Sports Time Ohio. April in Ohio is presented by Meyer. It will be Josh Tomlin going for the Indians tomorrow. Kyle Gibson scheduled to start. Has got a shoulder problem, so he's out, and the pitcher for Minnesota will be the young man Barrios. Is it Jose? Jose Barrios? One of the top prospects. Is 20, I believe, 21 years old. Jose Barrios.
Yeah,
a month shy of his 22nd birthday.
Weather permitting. But yeah, the young man's supposed to have an outstanding arm. I was talking to Bert Blyleven about him tonight. When Bert managed in the World Baseball Classic, he had him.
Chop towards second base. Kipnis will flip it over. One away. The injury report is brought to you by the injury attorneys at Elk & Elk. Irvin Santana with a bad back placed on the DL. Kyle Gibson with that shoulder problem. Glenn Perkins, also their closer, has a shoulder issue. And Trevor Plouffe, Arch mentioned earlier, has an intercostal injury. So they certainly have their share of injuries to deal with in the early part of the year. 4-4 in the 6th. Kurt Suzuki has driven in 2 runs for Minnesota tonight. And a fastball just outside. Suzuki with 1 out in the 2nd inning. Hammered a ball to straightaway center. Drove home Park with the go-ahead run, and then with the game tied again in the 4th, he knocked in Park for the 2nd time with an RBI single. And the 1-1, he had him in between where you can see the swing and the look on his face at the same time. Like, what am I doing?
Well, he started, it looked like a curveball to me. He started the swing and wanted to try and hold up and couldn't do it. It is. It's a curveball. Nice. Where's that been?
Doesn't throw many. That fastball hit to third. Uribe makes a good strong throw, 2 away. Well, how about Rich Hill of the Oakland A's? Formerly with the Indians, we saw him working out of the bullpen.
Right.
He's got 37 strikeouts in 26 innings this year.
You know, the amazing thing, he found something. And I'm not sure what it was, because was he in Boston and they gave him a few starts? He had a couple of starts.
Hit in the air by Rosario, and Minnesota has just taken the lead back. Eddie Rosario, the number 9 hitter, who was 0 for 2 on the night, puts a jolt into a pitch, and he just did clear the limestone box in right field, the portion of the seats that stick out in front of the outfield wall. And Minnesota's up 5-4.
Well, it's a changeup up. He kept his hands back enough and kept the barrel of the bat through the hitting area to get it out in front. And it just gets out of here. First row, lands in the plant stand, and that's going to do it.
And Cody knew it. You could see the reaction as soon as Rosario made contact. He knew it was not going to stay in the ballpark. So Terry Francona has made the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen as Cody Anderson goes 5 2/3 innings tonight, and he'll leave on the short end of the score. Looks like Dan Otero coming in when we come back. Base is empty, and Minnesota now leading it by a score of 5-4. The new Indians pitcher is right-hander Dan Otero, making his 5th appearance of the year. He'll be facing Danny Santana. Cody Anderson has just, I don't think there's any other way to put it. You can't sugarcoat it. He has struggled to start the year. He's made 4 starts now, and he's given up 17 runs in 20 innings of work.
And, you know, 34 hits. 6 of those hits have been home runs. And, you know, every time, I mean, the Indians come right back and tie it. It's where you have to go out there and put a 0 on the board, and you got the first 2 out, and then a changeup. Little upstairs. Rosario keeps the hands back and hit it out.
Line drive center field, and Naquin makes the catch, ending the inning. 6 complete, and Eddie Rosario has put Minnesota back in front, 5-4. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And by Ford, built Ford tough. (5-4) Minnesota. We're in the 7th inning. And for Cleveland, Mike Napoli, Jan Gomes, Lonnie Chisenhall due up. And Napoli 0 for 2 tonight. Last night it was the 8th inning in which the Indians got a home run to tie the game when they were down a run. Minnesota has the bullpen getting warmed up as Nolasco closes in on 100 pitches here tonight.
Yeah, you look at Nolasco, as we mentioned, it's his 4th start. His first 2 starts, he was able to go 7 innings.
Wow, Andre almost got picked off down there. He's too cold, he can't move.
Nolasco went 7 in his first start at Kansas City, 7 against the Angels. In his last start, with the only one with a win, he went 6 1/3.
Casey Fiend, the right-hander, is up for Minnesota, getting warmed up. Way outside with a fastball. And Casey Fiend has certainly had his troubles this year. His ERA is well over 7. Still anybody's ball game, though. Minnesota leads it by a run here in the 7th. The 2-2 to Napoli. Threw it by him. 8th strikeout tonight for Ricky Nolasco. He had 15 in his first 3 starts combined.
Well, season tickets offer the best perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. And today's Tribe Rewards TV code is TOMI. Visit Indians.com season tickets for complete details.
Well, now Yan Gomes 0 for 2. Minnesota shifting 3 infielders to the left side, but a lazy pop to right field for Arcia, and there are 2 away. Looks like we're going to get a pinch hitter for Lonnie Chisenhall. Looks like Marlon Byrd will be coming up to bat here for Lonnie, who has struck out twice tonight. How often, Rick, do you see a left-handed hitter lifted for a right-handed pinch hitter to face a right-handed pitcher?
Well, right now Chisenhall not swinging the bat very well at all, and he struck him out 2 times tonight. And Byrd is a guy that, hey, you know, he's going to give you a quality at bat. So right now Tito down a run. He's got to go with what he feels is best for the ball club right here, and that's a Byrd at bat.
Marlon Byrd, his first pinch hit opportunity. He's done a good job, though. He's 13 out of 43, couple of homers, couple of doubles. He's driven in 8. Checked his swing, and it's a strike. Last night he had 2 hits in the ball game, an RBI, a double.
It's his first pinch hit appearance of the year. The Indians have had 5. They have 1 hit.
Byrd has actually had back-to-back 2-hit games, because going back to Sunday in Detroit, he had a pair of singles, each driving in a run. And of course, Friday night in Detroit, he had the home run off Justin Verlander that was the margin of victory in that game. But he's in the hole 0-2 here. Nolasco's pitch is swung on and missed. So Ricky Nolasco finishes with 9 strikeouts on the night.
Will return home next week, and they are going to host the World Series champ Kansas City Royals, coming in for the first time this year. Their all-stars Eric Hosmer, Salvador Perez will come into town, take on Lindor, and the return of Michael Brantley. Go to Indians.com and get your tickets.
Marlon Byrd stays in the game. He's in right field. And Dan Otero, after getting the final out of the 6th inning, stays on to pitch here in the 7th. And a fly ball lifted to left field where Michael Brantley makes the catch. 1 away. That'll bring up Joe Mauer. 1 for 3 with a double and a run driven in tonight. To 2-0 the count on Mauer. Now Otero deals and Mauer takes, and that's in for a strike. 2-1. Just missed outside. 3-1. Mauer has hit against the Indians. He's played, this is his 150th game now against the Tribe, and he's batted .330 in his career.
Bell, here's his double tonight. Shoots it down the left field line where it just stays fair and bounces into the seats for a ground rule double. Ended up scoring Dozier. Made it a 4-2 ball game. Otero's throwing some good pitches. He just doesn't nibble off the plate until he gets the 2 strikes. And then a lot of times he won't go after.
Yep. Close, but Mauer will have a walk with 1 out. A draft night is coming up Thursday, and we've got you covered with the Drennan Live Draft Special. Now, starting at 7:30, Bruce will take your calls, talk about what's going on. Ashley Collins will be in Berea at Browns HQ to have your updates. Drennan Live Draft Special is presented by the Cleveland Metro Parks. Here's Miguel Sano. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. And he lines one to left. Brantley makes the grab. 2 down. Oswaldo Arcia will be the batter, and he's 0 for 3 tonight. He struck out his last 2 times out. .54, and here comes Mickey Callaway. I think somebody's just now getting up in the Cleveland pen, so this will give him at least 30 seconds to warm up a bit.
Yeah, you know, that's right. It's like a mass. It's Jeff Manship.
This is, you know, this is basically just baseball's version of the timeout. You just try to, okay, let's time out here.
Give me my 20-second timeout.
Let's regroup, get the bullpen going. I'm not sure exactly what the thinking is here. I don't know how quickly it takes Manship to get ready, but you know, maybe they want him to face Park because Park's had a pretty good night.
That could be it. That could very well be it.
So Arcia, who is 0 for 3.
Make him throw to first anytime.
This outside ball 1. I mean, Otero's only thrown 12 pitches, 6 for balls, 6 for strikes, and that's because he was working very carefully, really, with Mauer up there. But now he's misfired 2 in a row to Arcia and behind in the count. Not a spot you want to be in. You want this guy to be in the position where he's expanding his strike zone because he will chase. But
and
now,
he has all series.
Yeah, now all of a sudden he can start to zero in. He's got good power if you find his nitro zone.
Well, and I read last night where Tom Bernansky, the hitting coach, you know, for the Twins, he yells at him all the time to shorten his swing. You know how you see him, so he swings so hard and get out of control. He did that last night in that at bat with McAllister, but he was yelling at him, and he hears him, so he steps out and tries to cut it down. But he just got a pitch to his liking last night and ended the game.
Oh boy. Maurer just stole that base off Otero, who never saw him go.
Well, he had him timed. He just took off. You don't expect Maurer to really run, but had him timed beautifully, and you got to pay better attention to him than that. Watch this. Boom.
I don't think you can see him. The way he's got his body.
No, you can't see him. A lot of pitchers can't see the runner.
Turn.
It's a timing thing, and he just took off, so get your out here.
Fouled back by Arcia. And Maurer with his first steal. Could be a very important steal, though, because with 2 outs to get in the scoring position, now just a base hit and real good possibility that he could score from second. And the 2-2 upstairs, full count. Otero ready, the payoff pitch. Did he go? He did, says the home plate umpire, Doug Eddings. Arcia upset. He's unhappy that the home plate umpire didn't get some help.
So it
doesn't matter, because once he makes the call, it's game over. 5-4 Minnesota, though, after 7. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Well, we go to the 8th inning, and the Indians down a run. And look who's back for more. Ricky Nolasco sitting at 99 pitches on the night.
Well, he hasn't walked anybody, and he still has good control of his off-speed pitch. And Paul Molitor says, I trust my starter right now.
Wow, Juan Uribe, who homered off Nolasco in the 3rd inning, shatters his bat here in the 8th, and there's 1 out on just 1 pitch.
Yeah, he wasn't going to get another fastball on the inside part of the plate, that's for sure. And he went down swinging at the breaking ball.
Tyler Naquin 1 for 2, singled and scored in the 6th. inside, ball one. Naquin socks one to deep center field. Santana racing back, won't get it. That'll go all the way to the wall. And Naquin burning into second base has a one-out double.
Well, he hit that ball right on the nose.
That looked a lot like the swings we saw him take all March long in spring training.
Just a nice, that looked like it was an off-speed pitch up out over the plate, stayed on it, and boy, smoked it. And it gets over the head of Santana into center field for a double, and Molitor's seen it up. He give him a chance to go out there and give him 8. So he's going to make the move. He cannot be the losing pitcher. He can be the winning pitcher, but they're going to have to get 2 more outs and keep that runner stranded.
Timeout at Target Field. Casey Fiend is coming in for Minnesota. Eighth inning, and it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Well, Carlos Santana drives the ball to left center field, right at the base of the wall, drives in Naquin, and then Kipnis hits one out to center field. He's going to tag up with nobody out, get himself at third base with less than 2 outs, and Francisco Lindor ends up hitting the sacrifice fly. They come in, they tie the ball game with the 2 runs they scored there in the 6th inning.
Now Casey Fiend, look at that, in 7 1/3 innings. He's been knocked around a little bit. Fastball strike to the outside corner. He's given up 11 hits in the 7 innings that he has pitched, and 6 earned runs. Carlos Santana doubled in that run in the 6th inning. 3 hits now and 7 at bats in the series. And he cuts and misses. 0-2 the count. 5 runs on 10 hits for Minnesota. 4 runs, 5 hits for Cleveland. The interesting thing is, last night the Indians left a small village on base. 10 stranded. Tonight they haven't left anybody on base, just because they haven't had many chances. And the 0-2, strike 3 called. That is 10 strikeouts tonight for Indians hitters.
Well, he wasted no time. He came right at Santana, and he locks him up. A fastball right there, outside edge. Good pitch. Carlos knew it, had plenty of the plate. There again, you get a good look at that, had plate.
Strike called.
Well, you can see what Fiend's trying to do, just establish that fastball on the outside corner, and he certainly has so far the first 4 pitches.
Rick, I don't know if this is cause for concern or not, but this is the 3rd time in the Indians' last 5 games that they have struck out 10 times or more.
Yeah, I would think that's a concern. You want to put it in play.
One and 2 the count. I know the strikeout doesn't carry the same scarlet letter that maybe it did in your era or even before, but when they start piling up like that, that has to have, you know, Terry Francona kind of scratching his head a little bit down there. Casey Fiend ready with a 1-2. And Kipnis fouls it back. Jason homered in the 1st inning, giving the Indians a 1-0 lead. Last night was only the 2nd time this year that the Indians lost a game when they scored first. Tonight could be the 3rd in back-to-back if they don't rally. One-two pitch. Struck him out. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, and the Minnesota Twins lead it 5-4. By Mazda. Indians haven't had many scoring opportunities tonight. A couple of solo home runs. They did execute, though, to get another run home. And Cody Anderson was not able to keep the ball down in the strike zone, and Minnesota really took advantage. And they lead it 5-4. Now Jeff Manship to try and keep it a 1-run game here in the 8th inning. Young Ho Park is 2 for 3, 2 doubles, 2 runs scored. If Manship can keep it a 1-run game, then looking ahead to the 9th, it's Francisco Lindor, Michael Brantley, and Mike Napoli due up. So the heart of the order will be coming up in the 9th inning. But now You have to hope the Manship can stay spotless on the year in that ERA column. Came on with the game on the line Sunday in Detroit. And got Miguel Cabrera to pop up in the foul territory to get out of a bases loaded jam. Terry Francona has used him in some key spots already this year, but he hasn't extended him. Remember a year ago, Rick, when we first saw Manship, sort of because he was that guy that was always fighting, just trying to catch on, we saw him in a lot of roles, but by the time the year was over, he was one of the go-to guys in tough spots.
There's been a lot of times this year where we're in a game like we are right now, where you're down a run and you have to put a 0 on the board. You can't use Shaw, you can't use Allen, so you've got to find somebody that can keep it right where it is at.
Great thing about a guy like Manship is you take another look at this strikeout of Park. I mean, he just says, here it is, Challenge City, but it's down. And it's so much harder, as you've pointed out over the years, so much harder for a hitter to go down and dig that out.
Yeah, you got it. It certainly is.
But just got that mentality probably because he's had to work so hard, and you know the game has humbled him to a degree that he doesn't mind the roll. It's in the gap. Nate will try to cut it off. Escobar's going to turn and go for 2. Here's the throw, not in time, and a 1-out double for Minnesota.
Yeah, this ball was down a little bit, but it stayed middle of the plate. You're going to watch Escobar right there, down but middle. So he takes it the other way, hustles his way into second. His first hit of the night, the 5th double for the Twins. And they're going to have an opportunity to try and get another run home. It'll be Suzuki, who has 2 RBIs on 2 singles tonight. And then Rosario is the guy on deck.
And Manship will face Suzuki, who has been a real thorn on the Indian side tonight. But Jeff knows his role, and he knows that role can change. But he's not the kind of guy that's going to complain about where he's pitching, or not going to go to the manager and campaign or politics.
He's happy to be here.
Exactly.
And he's worked hard to get here, so he's not going to say a word. He's going to pitch whenever that guy asks him to right there. He's worked hard to get back into the big leagues. He was from the Twins. And I mean, you know, a lot of times when you go pitch against your former team, guys know what you do and know how you pitch. They have success. And
Kurt Suzuki back in the 2nd inning. And an RBI single that gave Minnesota a 2-1 lead. Then it was 2-2 in the 4th with 2 outs. He did it again.
Boy, he got 2 fastballs up in the zone is what he did, and he did the same thing with both of them. Park was on both times with doubles.
Well, Manship has him down on the count 0-2. Tried to get him to expand and maybe chase, but he would not. A ball and 2 strikes. Same pitch, good block by Gomes, keeping Escobar at second base. Manship with the number 9 hitter Eddie Rosario on deck. The guy who put Minnesota in the lead with that home run. Hit hard to third. It's over the bag, but foul.
Boy, it didn't miss my bunch, did it? I mean, Uribe fielded that ball, and he was waiting to throw, but he heard the umpire say foul ball. Awfully close. You can see he's over on the line. Boy, that hit that chalk line and then There's a better look. See, it hits the line, but that spin, it goes foul. It was a foul ball. Not by much.
No. Very close to being over the bag. So, Jeff Manship trying to put Suzuki away here. But he misses outside in a full count. White Sox pummeled Toronto 10-1. Chris Sale is 5-0 to start the year. Detroit lost at home to Oakland 5-1. And out of LA, the Royals have scored first. They lead the Angels 1-0. Here's the payoff pitch. Hit hard. Lindor cuts it off and throws him out for 2 down. Our Pat O'Brien play of the game so far, right now anyway, it's the Twins' Eddie Rosario. Hit a changeup off Cody Anderson with a home run in the 6th inning with 2 outs and nobody on base to give Minnesota a 5-4 lead. And that is where we stand in the bottom of the 8th. Kevin Jepsen looks like we'll be coming on to try and close it out on the night. And the Indians will be sending up the heart of their order. Boy, one night after Texas almost got no hit, they clobbered New York tonight 10-1.
They sure did.
Rosario a little late on that swing. 1-1.
Right here.
Hit on the ground, second base, Kipnis will throw him out, and the inning is over. So we head to the ninth. Last chance for the Tribe. They're down a run. We'll be right back. Al, what I want to know from Jensen, maybe on the postgame show, look, baseball's a game of second guessing, especially as fans. But the number 9 hitter, change-up pitch in that situation, is that a regret that a pitcher has? Obviously, when it ends up on the other side of the fence, it's a regret. But you know, if you got the number 9 hitter, it seems like you got a challenge in there, right?
Continue to throw fastballs, though. I mean, you make your pitch. You know, I don't know. Maybe the pitch was upstairs. You know, if he gets it where he wants it, it's probably okay. But as a pitcher, I don't know. You got to ask them.
Francisco Lindor leading off for the Tribe. He has struck out twice. Drove in a run with a sac fly in the 6th. And Lindor takes a strike. Lindor, Michael Brantley, Mike Napoli against Kevin Jepsen. Jepsen was a 2nd-round pick of the Angels back in the year they won the World Series. It's a few years ago, 2002. And when he got to the big leagues with the Angels, he was a guy that Lindor takes a strike. He was a guy that could, you know, be pretty durable. He pitched in 54 games in 09, 68 games the following year. Back in 2014, he pitched in 74 games out of the Angel bullpen. Lindor tried to tomahawk one to left, but Rosario will make the running catch. One away.
It's the 3rd straight day that Jepsen has pitched. Last night he got the win because he was out on the mound when they ended up scoring in the 9th. But the day before, he blew a save in Washington. So he has one blown save. He went an inning in both days. So he's trying to come back. So you don't know if you'll see him even tomorrow we play. But it's 3 straight days and he's looking for a save.
Misses outside, low and away, ball 1. It's a long time ago for Kevin Jepsen, but how's this for a major league debut in September of 08? His first game in the big leagues. He comes into a game. He retires Derek Jeter, Bobby Abreu, and Alex Rodriguez in order. 1, 2, 3. He probably felt like, this game's no big deal. Brantley fouls it back out of play. He said it's a hard story to tell because people look at it, it's like, yeah, right. You're making this up. Who'd you face next, Babe Ruth?
Well, I guarantee you one thing, it wasn't easy. I know he had to have some butterflies coming out there.
Brantley awaiting the 1-1 pitch. And a good eye takes that high fastball. When you miss that much time, is it reacting to the fastball or the off-speed pitches that you need to catch up?
Just timing, just picking the ball up out of the hands and just getting out there and facing live pitching. Just reacting. And
nice play at first by Mauer. He steals a hit from Brantley. That could have changed the complexion of the inning big time. Now the Tribe down to their last out.
He hit that one right on the nose. Sitting on it, got a nice pitch, and it's a nice play by Mauer on the short hop. But he turned on it. I don't know if that was an off-speed pitch or a fastball, but he hit it well.
And so with 2 down, Mike Napoli, the batter. Napo for his last 13. Hit high, hit deep to left field. Oh, baby! Second deck job for Mike Napoli. And that's how you break out of a slump. He slugs one to deep left field and ties the game with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Wow. Whew. I mean, he absolutely hammered that thing.
Well, there you go. One swing of the bat. And I'm telling you, that's a bonus right there. What a gift that is. He takes one swing, ties the game up.
He had been 0 for his last 13 with a slew of strikeouts. But he got a hold of this one and just smoked it. And with 2 down, Yan Gomes takes ball 1. Let's take another look. Oh.
Well, that went that. I don't know if you could hit it any harder than that.
Well, and we've talked about the pitch that's giving him trouble is that pitch that's above the belt. But he was on top of that baby. Hit it well over 400 feet.
Well, here's another blown save for Jepson. But now the Indians got to find a way to come back and take this one from him.
Up and in to Gomes. 2 balls and a strike.
Watch this. Let's see. Boy, he did. He got up top. Boy, and there it was. It was a nice catch by the fan right there with a glove.
He was up against the wall. Just the wrong wall for Minnesota. And that's too high. 3-1.
Well, 3 solo home runs for the Indians today. Kipnis hit one, Uribe, and now Napoli. They got off to a good start by taking a 1-0 lead, and boy, that last one tied it up with 2 outs in the 9th. Doesn't get any bigger than that.
And now Gomes charges one to left field, coming on Rosario, and he will make the catch. Boy, took a big swing, and Gomes has both hands on his helmet going down the line. He knows he just missed that pitch and nearly had himself a homer to put the Indians ahead. Instead, we'll go to the bottom of the 9th, all tied at 5. Bottom of the 9th. And for Cleveland in the bottom of the 9th inning, it will be Cody Allen. Last night in the bottom of the 9th, it was Zach McAllister who came on and gave up a home run to Arcia to end the game. Cody will have the top of the order: Danny Santana, Brian Dozier, and Joe Mauer. Danny Santana couple of hits on the night. In fact, he started a Minnesota rally in the 5th inning with a bunt single.
Little change of events, unlike last night where the Indians had all the hits. They had 12 hits. Minnesota had 5 hits, and they ended up winning the game. Well, now Minnesota has 11. The Indians have 6, but 3 of them left the yard.
Yep. And who knows where this one might end up as Danny Santana swings and fouls it back. If the Twins don't score here, we've got extra innings.
Well, on the year, the Twins are 3-5 and winning their 3rd last night 1-run games. The Indians are 3-3.
And a breaking ball hit between 3rd and short. And Santana's aboard again to lead off an inning. That, which you would call that the classic seeing eye single.
Yeah, hit it in the hole between short and 3rd. And once it gets past Uribe, it'll look like a breaking ball. Even if Lindor comes up with it, he wasn't going to be able to throw Santana out at first base. So he has his 3rd hit of the night. And we'll see how Minnesota plays it with Dozier up. I don't think you're going to see a bunt here.
Dozier 2 hits on the night, 2 singles, an RBI, and a run scored. Uribe is right on 3rd base. I mean, he's a step away from the bag.
And he's even with it as well. Throw over there to see if Dozier may give anything up, like he might try and sacrifice. But if that's the case, then you could always, if they do sacrifice, you got Mauer on deck, you would walk him. Santana can run. He has stolen one. He's been caught one time. You could start your runner and try a hit and run.
Now, one thing we know for certain, Minnesota has had the Indians' number. They've won 8 of the last 10 meetings head-to-head. So this is a chance for the Indians to try and turn the tables on Minnesota. They tied it in the top half of the ninth. Now Minnesota. Santana takes off. Here's a throw by Gomes. Safe.
Now they're going to check it, and they may look at it again. From the naked eye, it looked like he might have had his hand in there. Kipnis is talking to the umpire, but I think this one may be challenged. He didn't swing. He didn't anything. He took it all away. A lot of times you'll fake it. I think I think they're going to challenge it. It's going to be awfully close. Did Kipnis tag him on the hip before that hand got to the bag?
Well, it's the 9th inning, so
you got a challenge.
You don't have anything to lose, really.
Absolutely.
It was close enough to at least take another look. Players are looking up at the video board, but nothing is being shown. We'll give you a look here. I think it is going to be out.
Well, it looked like he tagged him on that swipe. I want to see where he hits him here.
That's the problem, Rick. Where does he actually make contact with the glove? I think
there.
It's hard to tell.
I think he might be out. It was an inch or two. You start looking at it that close.
Here's maybe if we have the angle from behind.
Well, is it inconclusive like it was yesterday? I think going back into first base.
I think if you take both angles and incorporate them, he's out, because from the side you just can't tell when he makes contact. But if you take the side look and you've got the angle from first base looking towards second base, and you've got those angles side by side, I think that would lead you to conclude that he's probably out.
Well, this may take a while.
I don't know if we have the ability to do that. Maybe too many bells and whistles, but if you got both of those looks side by side at the same time, there's where the contact is made. And if you've got the other angle to show you where the hand is, I think that's, well, let's see what they say. Yep.
Oh, right. He is out. Good throw by Gomes. They got that leadoff man off the base. Very good.
So 1 down on the 9th. And that's a huge out.
I mean, that's so close. You have to slow it down. And he was called safe, so they had to have the proof that he was out. Enough of it.
One pitch. High fastball fouled off the screen behind the dish. Boy, Rick, that's an interesting element too to this game when you think about it. And that is, especially in a 1-run game or now a tie game, the replays tonight potentially could be a real difference maker depending on how this plays out, because go back to the first inning and the Twins decided to challenge a play that really looked like they had no business challenging. They lost, so Molitor's out of challenges. In that 5th inning, they had a guy throwing out at third that looked like if they had a challenge,
yeah, he was safe.
He would have been safe. That cost him a run in that inning. And now here in the 9th, Terry Francona throws down a challenge and erases a potential winning run.
Yeah, that was a very big play with nobody out. The leadoff guy, they choose, let's go. I'm going to try and steal the base. Like we said, Santana can run awfully close. He was called safe. They had enough evidence to overturn it. It was that is a very big play in this game right now.
Now the 2-2. Uh-oh, that's hit hard in the gap, right center field, long run, and nobody can get it. Bird does keep it from getting by him, and Dozier, the winning run, is in the scoring position with 1 out.
Now you just walk Bauer.
Watch
Not
this
even
ball.
a thought. But you know, I thought this was hit harder than what it was, but there was a good at bat by Dozier. He stayed on it and into the gap, and it, you know, he was thinking 3, but then when they come up with it, he didn't hit it hard enough to drive it that way. But he's on second base. He's in scoring position, and now you're going to walk Mauer. Take your chances with Sano and Garcia, the 2 guys that are up following Joe Mauer. So how big does that play look now?
There's ball 4. Mauer will take his base. And Miguel Sano will come to the plate. Now Sano, certainly a double play candidate. And Cody Allen's not necessarily a guy who gets a lot of ground balls. Not that he can't. Don't you think of him as being a more of a power pitcher? Gets more balls hit in the air. And Sano's a guy that certainly can swing and miss.
Yeah, he's over 3 tonight. He did walk back in the 5th inning. So here we go again.
Winning run at second base for Minnesota. And Sano takes, and Cody with a first pitch curveball for a strike.
You can't hit that pitch. That was, I mean, it never got up there for the curveball. Tight, hard breaking curve, and it stays there for the strike. Wow. That's a tough very first pitch if you're a hitter.
The 0-1. Came back with it, but it's low and out of the zone. $17,493 the attendance here tonight.
He had the hit that gave him the lead yesterday in the 5th, where he muscled a fastball over to the second base side.
Drilled to center, and the Twins win again. Miguel Sano drives home the game winner here in the bottom of the 9th as Dozier scores from second, and Minnesota walks off for the second night in a row against Cleveland. 6-5 is the final score. Cody Allen suffering the loss for Cleveland as he drops to 0-2. More importantly, though, the Indians, after sweeping Detroit, have now lost back-to-back games, and they fall back to 500 at 9-9. Minnesota is now 7-14 on the year. The winning pitcher will be Kevin Jepsen, even though he suffered the blown save, and he's already 2-3. He's Mr. Decision out of the bullpen.
Yeah, 2 wins in the back-to-back days against the Indians, and there was a fastball that Sano just smokes right back up the middle. Ball that was down in the zone, and Cody Allen going to take his second loss.
Boy, this is really a disappointing series so far for the Indians, as they have dropped a couple of games that they could have easily won, but instead they go the way of the Twins. And this was a Minnesota club that came limping into this series, having lost 10 of 11 on the road. They had just lost a 16-inning game in Washington on Sunday, but they have bounced back to win 2 in a row against Cleveland in their last at-bat in walk-off fashion, and they've now won 9 of their last 11 against Cleveland. And
it's been the bullpen for Cleveland. I mean, giving it up both nights in tie ball games, coming into the 9th inning, and they walked off both times.
Yeah.
You know, once on the home run, this time on a base hit, and you know, they win the challenge after that leadoff base hit. Boy, things are looking good, but you get a double, intentional walk, and the next thing you know, a base hit ends the ball game. So the Indians 0 for 2, and they're going to have to come back and win a ball game tomorrow.
Miguel Sano gets the victory shower. He got the game-winning hit tonight for Minnesota. Twins a winner 6-5. Thanks for watching. For Rick Manning and Andre Knott, I'm Matt Underwood. We'll have the series finale for you tomorrow night, but stay tuned for Indians Live. It's coming up next.